All right, welcome on into the 100th episode of First CSP, the channel dedicated to bringing you the first council sorter patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been along the journey with us as we've gotten to our 100th episode. Everyone for the likes and subscribing to the videos, coming back every single day to see the new episodes. Really appreciate it. Obviously, we're not even a fifth of the way through the first issue collection, so we've got plenty more episodes to come. But we've got a fun one for you today for the 100th episode with Greater Tampa Bay 89 out of Florida. This council was originally formed in 2016 as the merger of Gulf Ridge 86 and West Central Florida 89. And what is any collection without a little bit of controversy? And we've got just a little bit of controversy with Greater Tampa Bay today in identifying what actually is the first issue from the council. So there are conflicting reports. Generally right now, the primary guide that we use is produced by the International Scouting Collectors Association. Their most updated is the 2023 Q3 issue, which is still in draft format but is relatively accurate. However, what it lists as the first issue is in conflict with another resource that we use called floridacsp.com, which is a separate website maintained and has its own listing of the Florida councils and images of their CSPs. Great resource there as well. And they actually they list different issues as the first. Let's head on over to the patch table as we continue to talk through the minor controversy of identifying Greater Tampa Bay's first issue. So when we look at the International Scouting Collectors Guide, it's going to list the 2016 NYLT patch that you see here on the screen as the first issue. They list it as the SA1. Obviously, it is an activity issue, so SA. It is solidly sewn, so it is an S patch. We have this, what they call blue border, blue and black sky, black fleur-de-lis, which is ghosted over here in the corner. It's kind of hard to see that fleur-de-lis. See if we can catch it a little bit with the light. Just barely, but there is a black fleur-de-lis ghosted in the corner, and it does say NYLT 2016. The second patch that they list for Greater Tampa Bay is then the staff one, which actually says staff with the same color as the 2016. It would say staff over here on the left. And then finally, the third issue is going to be their first regular issue, which we'll show you here in a second, which is an orange CSP, which is what most people in Greater Tampa Bay would be familiar with because that's probably what they wear on their uniforms. So the International Scouting Collectors Association lists the NYLT as the first issue, whereas the Florida CSP website lists what we consider the S3 regular issue as the first. Honestly, I think while it can be difficult to determine what is the first, what is more than likely true, and has generally been the case with new issues of new councils in recent years, is that the first issue is almost always now an activity issue. And it just happens in the annual cycle of the year, a new council is formed, and then there is some activity, some event, something that needs a CSP to be produced, and that just ends up coming first before they get around to producing the regular first issue. In this example with Greater Tampa Bay, the first was the NYLT event. Sometimes if it's a later merger, it might be a Friends of Scouting issue is the first for a lot of most recent councils. Sometimes it's NOAC that comes up. Occasionally it's a camp out that needs a specific CSP. But we're finding more and more that new councils now are almost always starting with an activity. And that's for better or for worse. Obviously, as a collector, I'm not as pleased with that because they're usually limited runs. There are going to be fewer of the first issue available for people to collect, whether they're a council collector or they're like us and they're a first issue of all councils collector. I really do wish there were regular issues that had large volumes produced, but unlikely. My guess is that the individuals that put together the Florida CSP website, which I will put links to both the International Scouting Collectors Association and Florida CSP in the description for this video, went with what they think is the what they believe to be is the most advantageous for the most people, and that's much easier to have a first issue that's a regular issue than it is to be a limited release activity issue like this NYLT patch. But I do believe the correct order was that this NYLT patch was probably produced first, and that the Florida CSP website's order is not correct. Again, I don't have that guaranteed, and if the Florida website is correct, we have those patches too, so no worries there. Here is the first regular, which we list as the S3. It is the orange border, light orange, yellow sky, orange fleur-de-lis, BSA, and white name. Really nice patch that shows the famous suspension bridge over there in the Tampa Bay area. I'm sure that bridge has a name. I don't remember. If you know the name of this bridge depicted on the patch, drop it in the comments so we can remind everyone this is a legitimate landmark in the Tampa Bay area. Take a look at the back here. It does have the standard BSA plastic backing. You can see I've labeled this as the first regular issue, the S3. Again, where the first issue is an activity issue, like this NYLT patch, for our collection, we always also try to collect what is the first regular. So this Greater Tampa Bay patch here at the bottom is what you would see scouts from the Greater Tampa Bay Council wearing on their uniforms. I really love this S1A NYLT patch that they produced. I have no idea what that scene is relative to. There are no rocky bluffs in Tampa Bay. It's flat in Tampa and most of Florida. But the colors are super unique. They list it in the collecting guide as blue. It's more of a teal color. It's very dark, but that with the lighting and the water and the boats and the rocky bluffs is just a really cool patch. We were very excited to be able to add it to our collection. It is not one that you see come up. This is the case with most recent councils. You find, as I've said, that their first issue is going to be an activity issue. They're often limited release issues because they're just meant for the participants of that event. And so they can be very difficult to find. They usually do not come up for sale. They do not come up for trade. You really kind of have to go hunt them out. That being said, if anyone knows of new councils and their newest issues, feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is in every video's description. We're always looking for those new first issues to be able to add to the collection and bring them to everyone here on the channel. We want to be able to share those first issues with everyone. So thank you so much for tuning in to the 100th episode. If you have not seen any of our previous episodes or you've missed some, you can access them 24 hours a day on YouTube on our channel. Go back and check through the first 100. We've got hundreds more to go. So we're excited to continue this journey. I want to thank everyone who has been along with it. By all means, if you're enjoying the content, share it with your friends. We love bringing this to you, and we hope you're enjoying it as well. Again, new episodes out every single day, so we'll be back tomorrow with episode 101. We hope to see you back on the channel. Until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.